So at this point, we've got like a good kind of starting point in a sense. I know it seems like maybe we've done quite a lot already, but I feel like we've got all our key kind of stages in there. So we've got our like synthesis part, we're kind of pushing it a little bit here with some distortion. We've got a little bit of space, so that gives it some stereo image and that gives it a feeling of like being a bit more in the real world. We've got like a glue compressor squeezing it, which is really handy after the reverb because it will bring out any tails and stuff a little bit more. EQ, then a little bit of like dynamic control, and then like a saturator and a limiter just to like cap it off kind of thing and like control it. So at this point we can start adding in some kind of like more unusual kind of effects, you know. So these could be things like flangers. We could go for more of like a feature reverb, more filtering. So flange is always kind of a fun one actually to throw in there. So I'm just going to stick that in. And the trick with a lot of these things, if you really want to make it sound really cool, which I'm sure you all do, there is to add it at like the start, like right near the start of your chains. Because it's getting pushed through all of this like processing stuff. You know, you're going to get like the most interesting sound out of that. You're going to hear all these little details in there. Now the Ableton flanger helpfully has a high pass, so I'm just going to make sure that's like maybe 150 so we keep our sub kind of clear. And then I'm just going to mess around with a few settings and try and find something that kind of sounds cool. Yeah, I think that's sounding pretty cool. I mean, I turned like the rate down. I turned the dry wet down as well, and I might drop the feedback a little bit because sometimes it can get a little bit samey, kind of hearing that like flanger tail over the top of everything. So it's nice to find a balance where it's just like a hint of it. I always find. Nice. Now, in terms of like third-party effects, we could use like I like a lot of the Sound Toys stuff, which is in here. Here we go. Phase Mistress is great. We can try adding that on as well. Let's see what happens. Yeah, great. It just adds a little bit of extra like character in there. And it's all about like layering up these like layers and layers of like different characters from different plugins, so different types of distortions and reverbs and phases, flanges, but you rarely want to go like 100% with anything. It's all about like mixing it all so that you always retain a bit of the character from everything else that's like on there as well. So I'm going to experiment with a bit more of like a feature reverb as well. Now again, I think I'm going to try initially putting it kind of near the start of the chain. So I'm going to go for, let's go for a different reverb maybe. I'm going to go for this plate reverb, but do bear in mind you can use any reverb for this. This is just one that I happen to like, lustrous plates. Literally any reverb will do the job though. So as you can see, I've got it in the same chain as I had before. So I'm just going to turn this up. Because we've like compressed everything so much, when when we're like playing a note, we're not going to hear that like tail so much, but then as soon as we release the note, we're going to hear that tail get like brought out by the compression to like a really extreme level. And we're going to try and like play with that a little bit. So I'm just going to mess around with these settings slightly. I think I'm just going to make it a little bit shorter. And I'm going to change this to a different type. And I'm going to put the frequency dispersion up as well. And I'm also going to like just get rid of some of the low end, I think. Let's see how that sounds. I think it has a little bit too much high end in it as well at the moment, so I'm just going to maybe bring that down with a shelf. Now, if we wanted to have a bit more control over what the tail's doing of this reverb, that's kind of why I've added this gate in here. Now, this gate is using its sidechain input to listen to this clean channel. So you can see here it says that it's on this channel in this rack, pre-effects. Yeah, so we should be listening to, yeah, just the clean signal. And that basically means that we can like gate this reverb as much as we want. So, so I can put the release up a little bit. We want a bit more tail.